Rip a line of Kurt. What's up, guys?
How's it going? Welcome to another Lockdown Live chat. As usual, joined with my awesome co-host, the purveyor of all things Dracona Media, Mr. Alec Lawson. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's all good, man. Busy week, but it's good to have these these chats to break up the mundanity of work. So I'm looking forward to getting into this,
Definitely. Well, as per our lockdown chats, we've been delving into bands that have kind of emerged during this whole pandemic.
That's true.
We're kind of shaking it up a little bit. I'm going to omit a little bit of that information and actually just say bands that we discovered during this pandemic, because frankly, I just really wanted to chat to these folks. So today we're joined with Alex and Otto of groove metal shred blasters all the way from Pretoria. Deathspringer in the house.
What's up? How's it going? Happy to be here, man.
Hells yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, happy we could actually pull this off. You guys have been making a nice little bit of waves recently, so we figured get you guys on and chat a little bit about the band. So yeah, let's dig right in. And I think, let's kick this off with you, Otto. Actually, Alex, you can maybe answer this also, but you guys were getting quite a bit of momentum at the beginning of lockdown in terms of touring, building up the nice local following. People were kind of getting in tune with this groove metal side, which is, it's a popular international genre. Ironically enough, not so much here in South Africa. So how has this whole 20 months past been? How did this affect the morale after getting all the wind taken out on all the touring and all of that?
Well, yes, we had quite a bit of plans set out for us. Maybe a Cape Town tour, maybe some Bloom, whatever. But unfortunately, we're sitting with this lockdown and all that stuff. So we're still keeping positive. We're jamming, writing new music. We're actually doing some underground shows and stuff as well. So at this stage, we're just happy if there's any shows open for the public and we can actually go in and do our thing. That's it.
To follow up from that, Otto, I know you guys had basically a beer launch planned, and obviously with gigs being closed and booze being banned, that must have been quite a blow emotionally and whatnot. So, obviously, you guys needed to keep motivated after that. So what did you guys do as a band? How did you keep spirits up?
Well, dude, obviously, we like to connect. So we often have some weekends where we just chill together, braai some meat, have some beers, and just have a good time, So we often take some kitty bills and we buy a shitload of meat and just enjoy ourselves. That's what we're all about. We don't take all the politics and stuff so seriously. We're more about the music, and we do what we want to do and what we love. So that's it, man. That's how we keep positive. I think I can speak for everyone about the beer. We were very, 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 very bummed when that lockdown was announced and booze were cancelled and everything.
And it was such good beer as well, man.
Well, it still is. So hopefully at the next possible shows where we can actually bring our beer, you guys can enjoy it. And believe me, some good stuff.
Awesome. Also, sorry to follow up from that. Alex, you joined must have been 2 weeks before lockdown happened. You were very new.
I think my first practice with Deathspringer was literally the weekend before lockdown started. So it just nailed us crazy hard, man. So yeah, that was a bit of a bump in the road. It did get a bit difficult, trying to, I've just joined this band and I hadn't even been in a band for 3 years prior to that. So it's just something that I needed to get used to, and it was a bit difficult, especially because like from Joburg to Pretoria, man, you know, it's good. Yeah, roadblocks, and it's just the distance as well, you know. It was a little bit of a bump in the road, but let me tell you, man, as soon as we were able to practice again, we went right into it. I felt right at home from the first practice as well. Like everyone was super welcoming. Like I already knew Reinhardt, our bassist, beforehand as well. So yeah, we just had a great time, man. We pretty much gelled well together from the first one. I think the memory of how well our first jam went stuck with us through that period of the lockdown where we couldn't actually jam together. And then when we could jam together, it was like bread and butter, man. Like we just fit together so well. And yeah, all this time later, you know.
Oh, that's awesome, guys. That's very good.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's awesome to stay motivated, you know, no matter what, you know. And I mean, in the process, we do have a little bit of inside info that you guys pretty much had written an entire EP. You guys have been giving little morsels of it.
Who told you? Who told you?
Yeah, but we have our sources. But yeah, Alex, I'm going to direct this one to you. One of the little tidbits that you guys have been teasing was the new single Human Porridge, and obviously interesting name, but yeah, maybe you want to delve a little bit into the lyrical themes, maybe even dive a little bit into the writing process on the EP in general. Is there a theme, you know, all of that stuff going?
All right, so with Human Porridge specifically, actually a very good friend of mine named Alec Lyle. I hope he doesn't mind me using his name, but we actually were in a previous like little project together, but it didn't really ever take off, unfortunately. But we had a song that was about pretty much an alien race visiting Earth and just wiping out humanity entirely, but in like the most brutal of fashion. So I didn't take the lyrics of that song, but I took that idea into Human Porridge. And one of the lyrics in the original song that we were going to write was something about being knee deep in human porridge. And so I don't take credit for Human Porridge. That was all my friend Alec Lyle, but I have his permission to use the name. But yeah, it just makes me laugh so much to hear something so innocent as porridge, and then you add human in front of it, and it's like the least innocent thing. But yeah, that's how I came up with that. But in terms of my writing process, every single song has a different theme. So for example, I've got a song that's about the Romans. I've got a song that's about like a witch doctor that visits like a small village in like a little town and bewitches all the people. I've got like a song about war, you know, like pretty much every song is a different theme. And I try pretty much to incorporate what the instruments sound like to me and what the kind of vibe of the instruments is. So for example, our war song, Warlord, is like that really fast paced, like aggressive, like stuff. So I thought to myself, this is something that I want to write about, but it's all stuff that I have some interest in and whatnot, you know.
Awesome. And I guess while we're talking about the EP, Otto, how was the recording process for the EP? Like I saw posts of you guys at Gemini AD. What kind of gear did you guys use? And maybe talk a little bit about your guitar and your tuning setup.
Okay, cool, man. Well, first of all, we didn't go with the ordinary routes of taking it track by track, take for take. We actually just went into the room and we jammed live. We did the vocal recording separately for obvious reasons, for bleeding over the mics and stuff.
And overlaying and stuff, yeah.
Yes, but we were running valve amps on the guitars, single channel right into the mix. Bass guitars also through a guitar valve amp actually into a bass cab. Drums was all live, and then we went into the booth and Alec created magic with Alex's vocals. So yeah, it was actually a very, very nice process. Took very, very easily. So yeah, just came so naturally, and wonderful guys to work with.
Awesome. And I understand you have like a custom guitar, and maybe you want to give a shout out to Carnage Guitars and maybe talk about your guitar tuning.
Carnage custom guitars, dude. Yes, I actually have 2 other guitars, very well made, custom bodies actually onto old RGs or whatever. The one is a Telly. It's actually has a 90s Prestige neck on there, scalar hardware all around. The other one's Explorer's shape. It's more directed to a destroyer made by Ibanez. And we had our own little fun with it. We made our own little iron label destroyer. So yeah, it sounds pretty neat. All my guitars set up drop A. I do run thicker gauge strings, much thicker than your normal guys would use, or whatever. 64s, 13s at the bottom for the 6 strings, and for the 7 string about a 64 or either 62 to a normal 10 gauge. That's probably standard for me.
Awesome.
And I use a microphone.
Yeah, good.
Well, yeah, I love the fact that you actually mentioned how analog the entire recording process actually was, because obviously Devil Speak, I would kind of compare the same type of raw primal feel in their sound, albeit a little bit more towards a thrashier element. So I'm curious, with all of that in mind, what you were actually telling us, Otto, how long was the process in actually recording the tracks? Did Alec make the entire process pretty smooth and transitioned like pretty well from track to track?
Well, dude, I think it was a challenge for all of us. He haven't done anything we wanted him to do in quite a while. I think it was the first for Gemini Studios as well. But it took us about an afternoon for the instrumentals, and we went back for a few hours on the vocals.
I recorded vocals on 2 days, but that's purely because my throat completely blew out on the first day, because I think I ran through our set like maybe 4 or 5 times, and then I was like, what? But yeah, it was quick though. It was really quick. Like we got it. Alec worked his magic like really, really quickly, and the whole point is to have it pretty much our album and our live performing to be on the same par, and I think we nailed that because it was live.
It's live.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm actually super keen on hearing more of this stuff, but let's pull this out of the studio and onto the stage, so to speak. And yeah, we'll hit you up with this, Otto, because obviously live elements, sound, all of that's very important. As you mentioned, we are in this global pandemic times, and there's a lot of bands that are still kind of taking precautions and are being a bit more restrained when it comes to gigs and whatnot. So how's it been with you guys performing at the smaller events? How's the attendance been? All of that stuff for a little bit of insight for peeps that might not know.
Well, dude, we're a couple of rebels. We're always be keen for a jam and a good time, But it's been a challenge. We also don't want to play too many shows and just lose the fun of it, So looking forward to gigs in the future. We'll rather choose our shows more better, or just engage with our fans in a more intimate way. I think that's our way of doing things, smaller intimate crowds, but the bigger ones also. We love that shit, dude.
We also haven't played in ages as well. We haven't played a show in such a long time, obviously with all the restrictions and stuff like that. So I mean, we do have our show coming up on Saturday. But like, it's nice to see that something's picking up, but like, I quite like it because it's just 2 bands, nice and intimate, like still our precautions are there, like all the regulations and whatnot, but it's tough for a band to try and play live in the current situation. And we've missed out on some serious gigging time, but we're very excited to get back into it, and hopefully towards the end of the year things will look a bit better for us.
Yeah, you did touch on something that I really wanted to sort of unpack. Like, obviously, a lot of bands there are bands that feel that maybe it's not the right time because of safety precautions. But like you said, you guys are a bit rebellious in that way. Do you guys feel safe, and do you feel like your fans are safe at your shows in this time?
So I feel like I don't think anyone can feel safe at the moment. Like just with how everything is going. I mean, you could get sick just by going to the grocery store. By no means am I comparing a metal show to like to go shopping or anything. But as I just feel as long as everyone does their parts, as long as everyone maintains their social distancing. I know I've got my vaccine already as well. You know, I think if we can just behave ourselves, essentially, you know, I think then it could be fine for like a small little gathering. I don't know. It's a bit sketchy at the moment, but you know, we also do have bills to pay and guitar strings to buy and stuff. So unfortunately, we don't really have much of another choice, you know. So
yeah, no, that's true.
And actually, yeah, I was actually going to say, because we can actually pull away from this morbidness of this pandemic and stuff, and let's talk about something that's kind of a little bit more fun. Let's talk more about metal, and I'll direct this question to you, Otto. Like we said, you guys are groove metal. It's a genre that speaks a lot to my heart, because I grew up listening to the first wave with Metallica, and you know, obviously going into the more groove laden with Pantera in the 90s. So just out of curiosity, who were your influences? Who are your inspirations? Who are the bands that like got you inspired?
I'm more the old school guy in the band, actually. So I'm more your Sepultura, Pantera, all the old school death metal bands. You know, Bloodbath. I love them to bits. So yeah, I'm the more old school guy, but I also like the new stuff as well. You know, so I'm the one mixing up all the genres into one and bringing out our awesome groove sound. You know, it was a turn journey on its own, but I think overall, yeah, just whatever's inside here is just coming out, you know, and inspiration is all over, I guess.
I guess you can hear it with just the few tracks that have been like heard online. It shows a lot of different variations of style, but it always has that catchy hook, and I think that's one thing that you guys have mastered. Like, whether or not it's considered, you know, mainstream in the death metal sense, you know, like, you know, like catchy is catchy, and that's one thing that you guys have definitely been able to have, is like that undeniable like groove and that rhythm. So
thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I think you should just make the music you want to make, man. You know, if anyone wants to say it's mainstream or anything, that's your opinion, bro. You don't like it is what it is.
Just comes naturally, man.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We have a lot of fun doing it. We just love playing the music, man.
100%. I mean, if you look at like the cultiest black metal band, everything's mainstream in comparison. So what exactly is mainstream anyway? But similar question for you, Alex. Like, I hear a lot of deathcore sort of elements in your vocals, and I mean that as a compliment, because for me at the moment, the people that are pushing the envelope vocally are these deathcore vocalists, right? And slammy, brutal death.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something that I pick up with your vocal style. So maybe that is intentional, and maybe that is sort of what you're a fan of. So what vocalists are you digging right now?
So to a point, yeah. Like pretty much as you say, the fact is that the deathcore style of vocals and stuff is what is attracting people at the moment. You know, so it's not something that I've typically ever done. It is something that I'm still learning and still experimenting with. So thank you for the compliment. But I actually, when I started doing vocals, I actually started out as a black metal vocalist. And it was only like years later that I started getting into like the lows and the gutturals and whatnot. And I actually did a black metal project before joining Deathspringer as well. And yeah, it was in that project that I started using lows like properly. And then I figured out how to do like those like low cavernous, like guttural things. And then, yeah, I just worked it out and everything. But then with that project, the music was a lot slower than Deathspringer is. So I kind of wanted to incorporate, yeah, just a bit more of an aggressive style instead of like that somber, like sad black metal style, you know. And then, yeah, I pretty much just started getting more aggressive is probably the best way that I can say it. Yeah, I've been experimenting and stuff. Like, let me tell you, even the vocals that you'll hear on the EP, there's even stuff that I can do now that I couldn't do back then. Like, you know, constantly practicing and stuff. And yeah, you'll definitely still hear in the EP as well. I did throw in my little black metal pizzazz here and there, like my forte. But yeah, definitely some influence of some more modern, should I say, deathcore vocals and stuff, just because the technique does feel a bit more comfortable and whatnot.
Cool.
It definitely bounces off the tone of the guitar also. Like Otto's like low detuning with low. How can you go wrong? Really?
Exactly, man. The vocals have to fit the instruments as well. You know, like we've got to sound like a band, not just instrumentals with some dude on it. You know, so. Yeah, I think it fits pretty well together though.
No, it does.
Nice.
It's good.
Well, so yeah, let's pull this actually back to the live shows, because as you guys mentioned, on peeps are watching this now, the show would have already have happened, but you guys actually have a show coming up with Human Nebula, another one of those more smaller type gatherings. But Otto, let's get a little bit nostalgic while we're talking about like lockdowns and all of that. What's been one of your fondest Deathspringer shows to memory lately? It pops into the mind.
It had to be Bloemfontein. I think it's 2019, 2020. 2019. Metal Circuit 5. We had a blast of a time, dude. Awesome people, awesome show. We broke some necks, and I assure you, those people could feel that for the next 2 weeks, dude. But yeah, what experience. It was just a beautiful road trip. All the guys to get in one car, all of our gear smashed in there, and we just had a ball of a time, man. Unfortunately, Alex hadn't joined us yet, but it was still an amazing experience.
No, that's awesome.
More memories to be made, I guess. I mean, in terms of local gigs, are you guys, you know, we'll say we're all in our prime and whatnot, but as far as it goes with touring, are you guys still old school in the sense of you're willing to get into a van and travel around South Africa and do a 2-week tour?
That would probably be the thing we do. Dude.
That's, I think, our only option at this point. DIY or die.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Most definitely.
I guess if this question can go to Alex, because you weren't at that Bloom show. If you could choose a festival, like any festival to play at, like what would be your dream gig to play?
I want Black Sabbath to open for me at Wacken, dude. Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, if I could play Wacken, that is probably my ultimate goal. Although I did see the lineup for the Hellfest festival that's gonna happen sometime soon, and I would love to play there too. You know.
I've often thought, like, when it comes to the more extreme stage of Wacken, you guys would work like fantastic before like a creator or somebody of like old school pedigree and stuff. And likewise with Hellfest or Bloodstock, even in the UK, you guys really have a sound that kind of mirrors a lot of what people who would want to be hooked on metal initially would think metal is, but you know, they can't gravitate to because everybody's delving into so many subgenres and micro genres now. So yeah, but again, just curious and like keen to hear the future tracks from you guys. But yeah, I guess Yeah. I guess with the whole touring and everything kind of being put on hold, future plans for the band, is there anything you guys like want to kind of let people know? All that good stuff.
Yeah, well, our EP is coming out towards the end of November, October, sorry, not November. So yeah, that will be out then. And then we're also already working on new material as well. So we've got 3 new songs for another, probably going to be a full-length album. And yeah, we're actually building us a little nice home studio now as well, so we can just pump out tracks as much as we can. And yeah, we'll also have a new song. I know this is only airing after, but we'll have a new song that will be debuting on Saturday as well. So yeah, we're just continuing writing the music, man, get our stuff out there as much as we can. We have this awesome marketing plan. And yeah, also all of our Human Porridge is currently on all major streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify and whatnot. And yeah, when the rest of the album releases, it will all be on there. So hopefully get a bit of nice recognition from there as well, you know, and just hope we just get that lucky phone call. You've been signed. You know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, guys. I think because we're coming to like the end of our awesome chat, I think before we get there, there's something that we usually ask every band, and that is the name. How did you guys come up with the name? And like, I mean, I've seen now posts about your mascot, Deathspringer the clown. So
let me just start off by saying that I am petrified of clowns. When I joined the band and then I found out that a clown is our mascot, I shat myself. Like, there's actually pictures that we took from our first practice where everyone's looking all serious and I'm like so uncomfortable because the clown's like right here above my head. But as for the name, that's for Otto.
Yeah, dude. So that was one of our legendary plot jams. They were still at Saki's place in Pretoria North. We were jamming in this big ass living room, like a huge ass open air, whatever studio vibe. And we're just getting drunk, staying out of our minds, and we started talking about Jerry Springers and like all that weird stuff and how messed up humankind actually is, you know, wanting to even be part of one of those type of shows. And I think it was myself just said, well, fuck, then I guess we're Deathspringer, you know, and that's how it's just stuck. I don't know.
that's awesome. No, that's fantastic.
You should get like tattooed on your butt cheeks, you know, like in Tenacious D, like Death and Springer.
Oh God. Well, let's see. Maybe something will pop out on Instagram in the near future. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, Otto and Alex of Deathspringer, you guys are legends. Thank you so much for taking a bit of time out to chat to us. Thanks for
having us, man.
waving the banner for SA Metal. Pretoria is a better place for it. So yeah, you guys just keep on rocking and we'll keep on listening. So again, thanks again, guys.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks so much. Have a good one, bro.
Awesome. Alex, what do you say? Are we done for another week?
Yes, we are. It's been a great show, guys. And yeah, it's killer.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And
thank you for having us.
As we hinted during this week, we do actually have a little bit of a surprise, and here it is. The new Fallen Prophets. The fresh in from Japan with OBI sleeve, as well as the new Hate Beyond from our friends at Jackhammer, Wazzy, who features on this compilation also. So this will be available across all local sites that actually distribute CDs. We'll include links in the description, as well as links to all the Deathspringer goodness for you guys to stream. Please support local music. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because that does help. And yeah, we will be back same time, same place with another Lockdown live chat. Have a good one, guys.
Awesome, dudes. Have a good one.
Later.